Rocky. As always, Outside the Box being brought to you by Raising Canes. I'm Joel Norman, and as always, joined by the head coach of the Lincoln Stars, Rocky. And Rocky, how we doing? It feels like it's been a few weeks. You and I have talked plenty, but we haven't talked in this setting since mid-December.
No, it has been a few weeks, and there's been a lot going on and a little going on at the same time, right? We finished up our first half of the regular season. They're not first half, but where we deem our break is, and got to have a little bit of downtime with the Christmas holiday, and right back at it there right after Christmas and into the new year, and here we are.
How nice was that to just have a week to not really have to worry about some stuff on ice, to just kind of put it out of your, well, I'm sure it wasn't completely out of your mind, but put it out of your, every minute of the day thoughts, perhaps.
It's never 365, 7 days a week. It's never out of my mind.
Mm-hmm.
But it's good to put it on the back burner a little bit and spend some time with my wife and the girls and just kind of be really present at home for the majority of the day, and not have the phone ring in and college coaches or pro guys or Nick calling talking about whatever the flavor of the day is with our hockey operations. So as much as I enjoy talking to all those people, and I do genuinely enjoy talking to everybody, but it's nice to be able to disconnect a little bit and just focus on the kids and my family.
Were you like me and you felt like there was a point where, okay, my batteries are fully charged, let's get back to it?
Yeah, on like day 6 when
Yep.
my older one was just driving me bananas, and of course it was right after Christmas, and her sister got a bunch of new toys from Santa Claus and from us and everybody else, and Ronnie was hiding her sister's toys. In fact, she got a princess doll that disappeared 3-4 days after Christmas, and my wife and I have flipped the house upside down and cannot find this thing anywhere. And we have a nice house, but it's not like we live in a mansion. It should not be that difficult to find. It's a yellow doll.
Yeah.
And we cannot find this doll for the life of us anywhere. So that has been the mystery of post Christmas, and where Ronnie hid the yellow Belle doll. So we're searching for it, and if we don't come up with it, then it'll be repurchased, I suspect, because we feel bad for Cammie, the little one, that she got to play with it for about 2 days and then it was gone.
Well, Ronnie may have a future as a hide and go seek champion at this rate, right?
It's not the first thing that's disappeared. She
it's a precedent. Then.
Yeah, she hides Cammie's toys, number one, on a pretty regular basis, but she had a comb. We had 2 combs for her hair. There was one upstairs, there was one downstairs. The one downstairs completely vanished. And, Ronnie will tell us that she has no idea where they are. I don't believe her. But she's pretty adamant about the fact that she doesn't know where they are. What I do think is that she did hide them, but she does not remember where she hid them.
That could be.
And so now it's one of those things where she's not actually lying to me because she does not know where they are. But there's nowhere else for us to look in the house, Joel. I might have to bring some reinforcements in and have some fresh eyes come and look around and see if they could find anything.
Sometimes that's what it takes, just a different set of eyes to get it done. And that was going to be my next question was, did your daughters like what they got for Christmas? But I'm seeing there was maybe a little bit of a little jealousy, perhaps?
No, it's not jealousy.
Okay.
We could give Cammie a brown cardboard box and Ronnie would want it. It's a sibling jealousy, I guess, more than anything. And Ronnie loves a lot of the toys that she got, and there are quite a few things that she'll let Cammie play with, and but they're 3, and Ronnie will be 4 in April, and Cammie's a year and a half, and so there's that natural wanting whatever you don't have, whether you actually want it or not, and that's just the nature of 2 children that are that close together.
Just underway here on Outside the Box, our first time back from the Christmas break. Of course, Outside the Box brought to you by Raising Canes. Hope to have you join us on the show here tonight. Call us on the Honda of Lincoln hotline, 402-464-5685, and text us on that same line, the Sartor Heyman text line, 402-464-5685. Shifting our focus to what happened on the ice, it was a great start to last weekend on Friday, as the Lincoln Stars picked up a 5-1 victory over the Omaha Lancers. And Rocky, there was not a lot to dislike about that night. Energy was great. Several guys back from injury or international competition, and we'll be talking about that more as well. But great start to the weekend last Friday. What was your favorite part about that win against Omaha last weekend?
I 2 for 2 on the power play. Ups that percentage a little bit with a 100% game. I thought we did a really good job of burying our chances. I thought our game plan was sound, and we executed it really well. I didn't love our D zone. I thought we gave up too many shots, and that got glossed over a little bit because Cameron was so excellent in the net. But it kind of reared its head a little bit on Saturday, obviously, with a pretty poor effort. But you see how razor thin the margins are. We win Friday 5-1, and everybody thinks we played wonderfully because we scored 5 goals. We didn't play all that different on Saturday, but we made some mistakes. We gave up some odd man rushes where they were able to capitalize. Uh, you know, Lucas will readily admit it probably wasn't his best effort of the year, and he got thrown into a really tough spot. He was not expecting to start. Cameron was supposed to start, and up until about noon on Saturday, Cameron was starting, and he fell pretty ill, and to the point where not only was he not able to play, he wasn't even going to travel with us, and so we had to dig up an emergency goalie. Fortunately, Jacob Morgan is a local kid who's on our midget team, who's actually a very good goalie, and he was able to step in Cameron's absence as an emergency backup, and Lucas was thrust into that start. And Lucas had a tough week. He missed 2 days of practice because of the debacle that was Southwest Airlines last week, and so there's certainly no blame to go around, but it was not a great performance by us as a whole on Saturday, and that was unfortunate because I thought that our effort was really good on Friday, and our energy was there, and our focus was there, and I was really hoping that was going to roll into Saturday and give us another great effort, but obviously we didn't get that same result.
I think going into that weekend, it would have been fair to expect it was probably going to be a weekend split with the short week with coming back from the holiday. But it's like you said, it was just kind of different on the scoreboard how both games ended up. You've talked about this at length as well. One of the things that hurt Saturday was those odd man rushes. 2 of them happened in that first period, and they score on both of those. Tri-City, that being as it was a 5-1 win last Friday, 6-1 loss at Tri-City last Saturday for those who missed it. But Rocky, I think it's easy to say we have to limit odd man rushes. How do you limit those?
It's counting the jerseys in front of you. It's understanding what's coming at you. And so we talk to our D and our third forward that's generally higher in the zone all the time about understanding what we call center speed, right? If the puck is on the wall, but there's a second forward coming up the dots, your gap is set with him. Because if you go down the wall to the puck carrier, one little chip, one little pass sends that guy on his way and eliminates you from being on the defensive side of the puck. And now all of a sudden we take an even numbered situation, we turn it into a favorable situation in regards to numbers for them. And that's what happened. If you pay close attention to the first 2 goals, our defenseman got too low in the offensive zone. Our F3 did not hold his high position. He also moves his feet down the ice. One pass beats both of them. It's a 2-on-1. The second one is a neutral zone situation. Our strong side D gets down the wall and outside the dots. One pass beats both of them. And so it's very easy to understand those things. But in real time, at high speed, when you're trying to do things to help make things happen, sometimes it becomes a counter effective. And they actually scored 4 of their 6 goals on line rushes on that game, and odd man line rushes. And then they scored on the power play late in the game, and we kind of, game was a little over at that point, obviously. But those are things that we absolutely have in our control. We can't turn pucks over at the offensive blue line. We can't not get pucks out on our defensive blue line. That's how a lot of the offense got generated by Omaha on Friday, was our failure to get pucks out. So those gray areas, 5 feet on each side of both blue lines, are incredibly important to take care of. And when you're not managing them well, then you tend to see some of the mistakes that occur. And Tri-City was what they generally are at home. They were on fire to start the game, and they scored in the first shift, and it's hard to get your momentum back after that.
And they've been playing well recently. They've won 3 of the last 4 games against the Stars as well. That season series between the two teams is now evened up at 4 games apiece. So 4-4. Stars technically 4-3-1 against Tri-City, one of those being an overtime loss as well. So shifting the focus ahead, Lincoln takes on Fargo this weekend, and hope to see everyone at the Icebox. 7:05 p.m. puck drop on Friday, 6:05 p.m. on Saturday. And this is a team who fans got to see, but it was about a month ago. And Rocky, I was thinking about this as we were just talking about the game with Tri-City. Is it easier in a way to be playing? It's not easier to be playing a tougher opponent after a tough loss, but is it easier to motivate the team a little bit more when you have a tall task like a team who's above you in the standings as your next opponent?
You know what? I it's always nice to be on top, but there's something to be said for being the hunter instead of the hunted. And the Fargo doesn't seem to lose to anybody lately.
No.
And so if we're going to make up some ground in the standings, we're going to have to beat them head to head. It's just that simple. And that's a scenario with 2 games in our building where I don't even believe there needs to be motivation. If I have to motivate the players under these circumstances, we have some deeper issues that we need to address. And I'm not a big believer in motivation, as odd or as it might sound as me being a coach. I'm a big believer in discipline and doing things the right way all the time, because that's in your best interest. And if you need somebody to come in and rah, scream and yell to get you going, then maybe you're not as committed to your craft as you think you are. And so we should be ready to play regardless of the situation or circumstance or the opponent. However, when you add in the element of it's Fargo and they're ahead of us in the standings, and here's 4 points on the line in our building, which closes that gap rather dramatically if we're able to come away with a sweep this weekend. That's all the motivation that the guys should need. They should be roaring to go, and I think they are. I don't want to build it up too early. It's a slow build throughout the course of the week, but they've been pretty focused in practice yesterday and today, and then this afternoon skate. And Curtis Brown, our development coach, is here in town for a couple days, and so they get to hear a different voice and a different perspective. And I think all of that is great, and hopefully we're able to continue to do great things throughout the course of the week in preparation for a big game on Friday.
Last time the Stars faced the Force was December 3rd, 2-1 victory. And that was a game, Rocky, that felt like the playoffs. The emotion was high, the intensity was high. And you already brought up the word discipline, which I wanted to bring up here. How do you keep guys disciplined in a game like this? They know what's at stake. They see the standings in the locker room, and they know it's going to be a tight game. How do you keep them locked in and not making those emotional mistakes that sometimes can happen in those types of games?
Every game we talk about not letting our emotions control us. We focus on the things that we can control. That's our emotions, our energy, our effort. It's not getting too high, not getting too low, not letting the ebbs and flows of a game control how we're feeling and how we're acting and the things that we're doing. And so, we can't control the refs, we can't control bad bounces, we can't control the ice. There's nothing there that's within our control. So why spend any energy on it? Instead, spend all your positive energy on the things that you can control. And so for us, it's about, hey guys, they're going to get some shifts, right? They're going to have some extended offensive possession. We're going to have some extended offensive possession. They're going to get some chances. We're going to get some chances. Who's going to bury those chances? Who's going to win the special teams battle? Who's going to take that dumb penalty? Who's going to, in a tight game, do something that puts you on a penalty kill? And I'm sure they're having those same conversations in their room. As good of a club as they are, I'm sure that Nick and his staff respect what we've done to this point. They know that they're 1-1 against us this year. We're certainly not a pushover. They have a challenge ahead of them, and we have a challenge ahead of us.
Fargo, like the Stars, has slowly been getting guys back from the World Junior Championship, and boy, Rocky, it's been a fun tournament so far in the last couple of days. U.S. taking on Canada tomorrow. How much have you watched of these World Junior Championship games? You've got a few former players playing for Team USA, and I imagine that's got to be pretty fun. In addition to watching Latvia with Klaus Weinbergs,
I watch all the games. In fact, my daughter said, "Oh, Daddy, some hockey's going on the TV." when I got home a couple days ago, or yesterday when the U.S. was playing. I coached with Dennis Williams, who's the head coach of Team Canada. We won a national championship together in Amarillo. So I do have a little bit of a vested interest in watching them play and watching the U.S. team play. And but more than anything, it's been it's a holiday tradition for as long as I can remember. The day after, pardon me, the day after Christmas is the first day of World Juniors, and so last year was so odd, right? The tournament started and then it got canceled, and Port Caden Imberco is there, and then all of a sudden he's in quarantine because he was quote unquote tested positive, but he had absolutely no symptoms, and it was a crazy event, and so they got to play it in July or in August, which was also weird, and
yes,
so this is now pretty cool to get that normalcy back in regards to that tournament. But Curtis was in the office this morning. He called me last night from the airport in Omaha, and we were talking about the Bedard goal and overtime and a lot of different things, and how actually we believe Connor Bedard can, what his ceiling is in the National Hockey League, et cetera, et cetera. And Curtis was talking about his experience playing for Team Canada in World Junior tournament. So it's just, you're watching so many guys play at an incredibly high level, but those are the guys that are going to play in the National Hockey League over the next couple of years, and so it's pretty cool experience.
It's been a lot of fun to watch. That Canada-Slovakia game last night had me on the edge of my seat. I was standing at some points, honestly. It was such a great game throughout, and got to figure U.S. and Canada is going to be a ton of fun tomorrow as well. So let me ask you this then. You mentioned all these people you've got connections within it. Do you watch it as a fan of maybe one team, or is it almost just, boy, I just want my guys to succeed?
Well, you want your guys to succeed without question. I'm rooting for Clavs when he's playing to score, and but I'm watching it from a recruiting perspective, right? Mm-hmm. There's you're identifying some younger guys and taking a peek. Oh, he's committed to college. Is he drafted in our league? He's not. Okay, there's a guy that we put on our list, and but ultimately, I'm an American, and I'm rooting for the U.S. team without question. And Rand Pecknold is a friend, the head coach at Quinnipiac, Reed Cashman and Pat Ferschweiler. I've known those guys a long time. And so from a staff perspective, I wish them nothing but the best. And you want to see the U.S. win gold every time they have their opportunity.
It's pretty exciting. Hopefully they can get to that point here over the next couple of days. Ronky, another thing that's going on in the hockey world is the Winter Classic, which was yesterday. And unfortunately for us as Penguins fans, they weren't able to get the win. But it got me thinking, it's been 10 years since the Lincoln Stars were last in an outdoor game. That was against Omaha at Charles Schwab, then TD Ameritrade Park. And it got me thinking, if the Stars could be in an outdoor game again, and there's been a few teams who've done this, if the Stars were in one, who would you want them to face, and where would you want maybe a place to be, both in Lincoln and outside? How about that?
Well, the Youngstown Phantoms are playing Cedar Rapids at the football stadium in Cleveland, which I think would be just absolutely incredible.
Especially if you could fill it.
Yes. Now I don't expect they're going to fill it, but I think it would be awesome to. Again, I'm from Youngstown, so I have a bias, but being able to play close to home in an environment like that would be awesome. Certainly, if you're going to play in Lincoln, how could you not want to play in Memorial Stadium and all the history that's there from a football perspective? How cool would it be for them to throw an ice rink down at the 50-yard line and have us play the Lancers there, right? Yeah. I think it would be the natural fit for us to play them. Tri-City, Sioux City, whatever. I think the Omaha one is the natural one. From a nationally based thought process, how could you not want to play at Fenway Park?
That's a good point.
I mean,
it looked great yesterday.
It's incredible, and the Bruins get off the bus. They all have Red Sox uniforms on, carrying bats and gloves. Like, I was like, how cool is that? So one of those stadiums, obviously, Fenway, Wrigley Field, something like that. Lambeau Field, throw one at Green Bay. Like, there'd be so many cool things that you could do with it. Yankee Stadium, now the new stadium doesn't have the same aura as the old one, but of course there's some pretty cool environments that it would really be fun to be a part of. And I've actually never coached an outdoor game.
I was going to ask that next. You've never been part of one outdoors?
I've never been part of an outdoor game. I would love. Now, I grew up playing outdoors. my first, we didn't actually have an indoor rink in Ohio, in Youngstown, until my freshman year in high school. So we drove an hour back and forth to Cleveland to play. We had a little outdoor rink there. So that's where we practiced growing up, was outdoors. So I would love the experience of being able to coach in an outdoor game. And it's a lot of work. It's not as simple as saying, hey, let's play outdoors. In Amarillo, they built a beautiful ballpark right next door to the Amarillo Civic Center, where the Amarillo Sod Poodles play, the baseball team. And there was talks of us getting that going there. And then obviously the whole sale of or move of the team and everything kind of squashed that. But it wouldn't surprise me if the Wranglers ended up playing in an outdoor game in that facility. But I don't know. I'd love for us as an organization to push it and see if we could find a way to make it work. Even play at the ball field, play at Haymarket. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure that's maybe even a more realistic scenario than playing at the football stadium.
One can dream, though, right?
Yeah, it would be incredible.
I was going to say, maybe you'd have to pull a Red Sox thing, and maybe the Stars players come out in pads and Nebraska football jerseys and helmets.
I think we could do that. How DP would be able to hook us up with some Huskers jerseys for that.
I thought that was so cool yesterday, them doing that. It's a nice kind of honoring of just sport in general that I thought was so cool. It was that connection to the hosts, but that's the neat thing that the Winter Classic has done. I don't know if a lot of other sports do a great job of with their events. And did you feel the same way?
You know what? I enjoyed the amount that I watched that game yesterday. I didn't watch the whole game because I did switch to the U.S. game. I thought that when they first started playing the outdoor games, it was the coolest thing ever. And it was just the Winter Classic. Well, then it became the outdoor series, and now we're trying to play games in California and the ice is melting. And I thought it became a little bit cliche, and it lost some of that mystique to it a little bit. But for whatever reason, I don't know if it was the two teams that were playing, the venue that they were in yesterday, but that kind of had that feeling of excitement that I feel like that game has been missing for quite a few years.
Yeah, I think the venue for me, frankly, is half the battle with that. But hey, maybe we'll get the Stars of this at some point here. That'd be a lot of fun to host one. Every time since I've been here, I've looked back at that one from afar and thought that'd be so cool.
So last year, before I got the job, but we had agreed to go to the Frosty Cup in Dallas. Right. Well, when they agreed to go to the Frosty Cup, it was under the impression that we were playing one of the two games outside. And so I was all fired up. I'm like, this is great. We're going to Dallas. We're going to play outside against Tri-City. How cool is this going to be? And we get there and we're playing at the Dr. Pepper Center. I don't know what it's called now, but it used to be the Dr. Pepper Center in Frisco, where we won the Robertson Cup, by the way, and with the Bulls. But and it's empty. Right, it's empty. The youth tournament doesn't start till Friday. We're playing Wednesday, Thursday. There's nobody around. I'm like, we came all the way down here. We were all excited to play outdoors. That doesn't happen. Like, it was just kind of a bummer, and that's why we're not in it this year. It wasn't a good fit for us, but we were hoping to be able to play outdoors. And you know what? I'm going to mention that to Alberto and see if there's something that we could plant a seed for down the road, because I think it would be an awesome experience.
Absolutely. Well, Rocky, we'll take a quick break here. When we come back, we'll have a couple of guests joining us, Carson Bidens and Daniel Sambuco. This is Outside the Box, being brought to you by Raising Cane's on 93.7 The Ticket.
Every child has the ability to be successful and thrive in life, but sometimes they need your help. Big Brothers Big Sisters of Lincoln exists to help children unlock their potential by making meaningful matches between adult volunteers and young people. Right now, there are children just waiting for a mentor to step up and make an impact in their lives. Learn more online at bbbslincoln.org. There are children and kids right now in Lincoln waiting to get started. Volunteer today and start something big.
I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear, call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. Do you get it?
Yes, good job.
So what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container, because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Papa, why can't we telegraph while riding a horse?
Son,
There ain't no one to blame but Jeffro. He was riding old Betsy the Stallion, tip-tapping away at his telegraph, when blam! Ran right into the side of the saloon. Well, if Jeffro can't do it, neither should you. Don't text and drive.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
My name is Rebecca. I struggled with depression for years. I also smoked. That was my world. Finally, I realized that smoking wasn't helping me. It was making my life worse. So I took control and I quit. Now I'm able to run again and take walks with my grandkids. My tip is there's another world out there, and it's a beautiful place to be.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold, feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Where will your path take you, traveler? To seek fortune in a new career? Or on a journey to distant lands for a well-deserved vacation? Wherever you go, one distraction could spell disaster. You can change your fate, adventurer. Don't drive distracted. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Look at your car. It's filthy and probably has a few dings and nicks all over it. Don't be that guy. Get it upgraded and repaired at Renew Your Auto. At Renew Your Auto, they offer tons of services: ceramic coating, window tinting, paintless dent repair, washes and details, bed liners, body shop, and more. Where can you go to get services like that all in one place? Schedule your appointment today at renewyourauto.com. See what Renew can do for you.
If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide or experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, call 988 for free, confidential, and compassionate support. On July 6th, the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline is transitioning to 988. There is hope. For 24/7 support, call, text, or chat 988.
Sponsored by Nebraska DHHS, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
A new year means new goals and upgrading, but that doesn't only apply to health and fitness. Mullen Motors can get you into a new vehicle right now and get your 2023 started off the right way. They cleared off their 2022 inventory and have tons of new vehicles to choose from to make sure you get to where you need to be this year. Out with the old and in with the new. Stop by Mullen Motors today, just north of 48th and Lake.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
It's time for Outside the Box with Lincoln Stars head coach Rocky Russo and Lincoln Stars broadcaster Joel Norman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
And welcome back into Outside the Box, being brought to you by Raising Cane's here on 93.7 The Ticket. I'm Joel Norman. It's time for our player guests on tonight's edition. We're joined by forwards Daniel Sambuco and Carson Biden. And guys, welcome into the show. And, how was your holiday breaks? It's been a couple of weeks since we've had the show. I've been catching up with all of you guys. I've been seeing you over the last couple of weeks. How did you enjoy your holidays? We'll start with you, Daniel.
Yeah, mine was awesome. I got to see a lot of family, spend a lot of time at home, catch up with my grandparents, get Christmas gifts. So I had a great time at home.
Carson, how about you? How was it getting back home?
Yeah, it was great for me too. It's a great time to see all my family and get together with my friends. And it was short, but it was sweet. So it was good.
I asked Rocky this too. Were you guys kind of like me where it started out and it was like, this is great. I needed a break from hockey. But then a couple of days in, you started kind of itching a little bit and you're ready to get back. Did you feel that way?
Yeah, I'd say so for sure. After a couple days, you're ready to get back to the ice and you're ready to get back to work.
Not that you don't like family, of course, but it's that I'm ready to get back. I think I'm recharged now, right?
I brought my gear home, so I was skating throughout break, which was a good move, I guess. So, but I definitely still had the itch to come back and see everyone and see the guys and my billets, and so I'm happy to be back.
Now, Daniel, you told me a cool story about a Christmas tradition you had. I wanted you to share that with fans, though. Something you said you do each year on Christmas Day about, having a game with family and friends. Take me through that.
Yeah, so my uncle, I guess like 4 years ago, introduced me to a bunch of his buddies, and as time's gone on, like we've gotten closer and closer with them. So consider them almost like family. And every Christmas Eve morning, we play a little pickup shinny game. It's like an hour and a half, and this year was really good. So had a hat trick. So
Not a big deal.
Yeah, got out there, but no, it was a lot of fun. So got to compete a little bit and get ready to come back. So
3 periods, how does it work? You guys time it and everything?
So it's 3 17s.
Okay.
And then at the half you switch goalies. So because our goalies initially was a younger kid, pretty good, and then the other guy was an old guy. So then we switched and kind of
That's
evened
fair.
it out. But no, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, the hat trick. Did you win too?
We lost.
Oh,
It was like
no.
9-8. Yeah, a high scoring game. But no, yeah, it was a good time.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Hey, Carson, take me through that. Do you have any Christmas traditions back home? Anything that you did, whether it was hockey related or not, that it was just nice to get back and do again?
Nothing in particular like Daniel had, but just getting together with family a couple days, around Christmas, and maybe go on a pond or skate with all my friends, but nothing too particular.
I was going to ask you that if it was cold enough that you could have gotten on a pond. A lot of the country was pretty frozen right around Christmas
Yeah,
Day.
it was probably too cold to go out on the pond. It was, I like the Nebraska weather a lot more than I do the Manitoba weather. It was pretty weird going back up there and realizing how cold it really is and how we live through that every day.
Was that a little bit hectic going back into Canada just with, the travel was already chaotic in the U.S. throughout Christmas week and a little bit afterwards? Was it any tougher getting home with having to go across the border and everything as well?
It wasn't too bad. I actually drove because I
that's
didn't
nice.
want to go through all the airports, and I knew it was going to be really busy. So it was about a 12-hour drive, but I made pretty good time.
Did you do it on your own? Did you have someone with you maybe?
No, I did it myself.
You did it yourself. A
Yeah.
12-hour drive. Wow. That's a long day then.
It is, yeah, but just listen to some podcasts and listen to the radio, and it goes by quick.
You've had a hectic year in general, whether it was a 12-hour ride back home or not, but you got acquired by the Stars. Boy, that was beginning of November now, if
Yeah.
I'm remembering right. Take fans through that. When did you hear you were traded, and what were your thoughts initially?
I think it was like the Tuesday. Then when I heard I got traded at about probably like 10 in the morning. It was a little weird. Just my first time ever being traded or moving teams in a season like this. But I was happy. I enjoyed my time in Cedar Rapids. They're great there and everything. But I was really happy to move to a spot that I knew would be better for me here in Lincoln. And I found out at 10, and I actually left my billet house there at 2 and got here in Lincoln at probably 7. And I think I played 2 days later. So it was a pretty quick turnaround. I didn't have a ton of time to process it, but the guys here and the coaching staff and everyone's been super, helpful with getting me started here and helping me out with anything I need.
Now, Daniel, you got traded last year. You were with Madison. You get traded to Waterloo. How did his experience kind of compare to yours? Was it kind of a similar, you found out and it's like, well, I got to get out of here today then?
Yeah, kind of the exact same, to be honest with you. I found out at like 8 in the morning, went to breakfast, went back to my house, told my billets. I was very close with my billets, so that was tough. But packed up and left and got to Waterloo about 6-7 o'clock that night and then played that weekend. But very similar. Is better for me at the time, and I was happy to be there and be a part of that team as well.
I think fans, you always wonder when you're traded. I think you hear about the professional level. Sometimes it feels personal sometimes. But do you also? How does that feel, or do you kind of look at it immediately and you go, you know what, this is probably for the best, and it's a new opportunity? How do you guys approach a situation like that? I'll start with you, Carson.
I never took it personal or anything. I was just strictly business, I guess. I knew it was best for them and best for me. I was going to a better spot. But yeah, a lot of guys can take it different ways, but I just try to take it in stride.
Daniel, how about you? I mean, like I said, I would totally understand. I frankly, you'd probably be a little emotional. And mom be like, wow, I got traded.
Yeah, it was tough because you're there with the guys for 6 months. It was for me.
Yeah.
So you start to build those relationships, and again, I was super close with my billets. I still stay in touch with them today. So it definitely was a little emotional for me, but after the 4-hour ride, I just kind of thought a lot about it and saw it as a new opportunity for me, and just try to make the best of it.
So what we're learning from tonight's show with both of you is that, boy, if anything ever is just a lot, just go on a really long drive, and by the end of that, you'll be all cooled off. Whether that's going back home after a busy stretch of hockey or getting traded, just go on a long drive. Everything will be okay. So I want to talk to both of you guys about this. You're both committed to play at schools. Daniel made yours a few weeks ago, so I'll start with you. Committed to play at Vermont. Take me through that process. What excited you about that program in particular?
Yeah, I think the coaching staff is world class. The biggest thing that stuck out to me was, just their background and, how familiar they were with me through the recruiting process, and just everything the school itself and hockey team had to offer. It's a great business school, which is what I'm looking to do in college. And then, as a hockey player, I felt I was going to develop most there. So I'm very, very excited for the opportunity, and pumped to, eventually go to school there.
They're in a situation where they're looking to kind of take some bigger steps forward. And, it's been a tough couple of years here. In a way, though, is that exciting as a recruit? Because, hey, I can be a part of something that's building towards something bigger one day, too.
Yeah, I think it is because, always in the back of your head, you get you have the mindset that you're going to have the opportunity to, build a really strong team and, be a piece of that team. So that's definitely something to look forward to. Again, I think it's a great opportunity all around. That's kind of what drew my biggest attention.
Any guys in this league who are going there with you that you already knew?
So the only one that I've been kind of familiar with is Bump. Actually, last Friday I brought it up to him, and we were just talking a little bit back and forth on the before one of the draws. That's really, I know 2 kids in Sioux City are going there. I don't know them very well. But no, honestly, it's kind of going to be a lot of new faces for me once I get there. But a lot of the guys have reached out and, and introduced themselves, which is great. So, just putting a face to the name once I eventually get there. So
of course you're referring to Alex Bump with Omaha. So you bring that up on the ice. How does that work? You line up for a face off, you say, hey, see you in the fall at school.
So I forget exactly what I said. I was just like, hey, you want to give me one tonight? Like, just, lead the puck out for me. We're gonna be teammates. And he was just laughing. But yeah, he's an awesome guy. I like him a lot. But again, I'm excited to meet a lot of new people and again, put some faces to names.
Carson, you're committed to play at Princeton, and not a lot we have to really say about that. What drew you to them, though, in particular?
Oh, well, definitely. Coming from Canada, I didn't know a ton about NCAA hockey at first, but after I started talking to them a bit, and I did a lot of research on them, and I realized how incredible it would be to play such a high-level hockey and also go to an incredible school like Princeton. And it was great too. When I was in Cedar Rapids, I played with Josh Karnas. He's also going to Princeton, so it was great to know him, and he's a great guy. So I'm looking forward to going to school with him. And of course, Antonio's committed there too, and he was actually one of the first guys to reach out to me after I was traded to Lincoln, and just said hello and he was happy to have us, and it was going to be great to get to know him. So he was awesome about that and welcoming me to Lincoln.
That's really nice in a situation like that, because we were talking about the trades before. You're going, and for the most part, you're probably not knowing guys, so kind of nice to at least have a connection there with someone going in. Daniel was talking a little bit about the business school at Vermont. What about for you at Princeton? Are you going in, you kind of have an idea of what you're targeting, or are you maybe still looking to figure that out?
I'm still a little open, but I think I want to pursue economics. That's something that really interests me, and I'd love to study it there.
It's always interesting for me asking these questions with you guys, because I say it to everyone, the junior hockey season is so professional. You guys, you don't really have time to think about a lot besides hockey, but there is a little bit of free time during the week. And, for guys who are not still in high school, I wonder for you guys, how much is it? Can you make that switch to get back into the school mode? So it's interesting you guys have both thought about that as well. I wanted to talk about this past weekend as well. Last Friday was a great win for the Stars. That 5-1 win against Omaha. Saturday, it was almost like the switch flipped. Take me through that, because the momentum was pretty much all throughout your favor on Friday's game. You guys had all the energy you wanted. Something changed Saturday. How'd you guys feel after the weekend when you kind of look back at it? Start with you, Daniel.
Yeah, I think Friday was great. We did a lot of good things, especially coming off break. It's always, nice to kind of have it figured out right after break. On Saturday, I just don't think we were very focused. They scored the first shift of the first. They scored the first shift of the third. It didn't get many power plays. We were on the kill a lot. So just kind of the recipe for disaster, I guess. All which was in our control. So I think, all of us just kind of have to dial it in a little bit more going out for the first puck drop. And I think we'll find a lot more success if, we're not getting scored on the first shift and killing 7 times.
Yeah. Carson, what were your takeaways from this past weekend?
Yeah, I'd have to agree with Daniel on a lot of that. And I'd say Friday and Saturday are probably exact opposite games. Going into Omaha, it's great to get a 5-1 win and, really start a great have a great start to the second half. We were feeling really good about that game. And, going into Tri-City there on Saturday, we got let down early, letting a goal or two in early, chasing from then on. That's really tough to do. And, like Daniel said, we weren't focused enough. We didn't play a strong enough game, but that's totally in our control. And that's on no one but us.
You guys have seen Tri-City a ton lately. 4th time in the last 5 games this past Saturday that you saw them. Don't see them this weekend. You play Fargo, but that next weekend, 2 more games with Tri-City. It seemed like that third period, both teams have pretty much had enough of each other, even with the holiday break in between. How do you guys, next time out that you see them, kind of get past that frustration with certain guys you remember and just you lock in on getting 4 points?
Yeah, I think, it's a different game. I know for me, I take every game to game. Just you got to reset each night. I think we really just have to put our personal vendettas behind us next time we play Tri-City and just, focus on what we have to do to win the game as a team. And that's, really all I have to say about that.
What about you, Carson?
I'd say, we have to focus on the bigger goal and getting the win and not let any personal grudges you have with guys on their team get in the way, because, it's hockey or it's the game. You're not going to like everyone, but what's more important is playing a team game and winning. So, you have to put some of those grudges aside and just focus on what's more important.
And unfortunately, don't have to deal with them this weekend. It'll be Fargo who comes to town this Friday and Saturday, 7:05 p.m. on Friday at the Icebox, and then 6:05 the next night. We'll take a quick break. We'll have more in a moment after these messages. This is Outside the Box, being brought to you by Raising Cane's on 93.7 The Ticket.
Life-changing research doesn't just take place in outer space. It's also happening right here in Nebraska. Research needs healthy research options. You qualify. You could earn up to $500 a day time and travel. Overnight stays may be required. To learn more, call Solarion at 866-213-2965 or visit helpresearch.com/500.
John Henry's Plumbing.
When it comes to your home or business, we know you have options, and that's why John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning gives you just that, options. We have plumbing, heating, and cooling memberships to serve all of your residential and commercial needs. We want to ensure you, your family, and your business are safe. Visit our website, jhlincoln.com, to find out more or call us at
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing. Heating and Air.
This message is for Karina. Our mom will finish her high school diploma at age 28. Hi, Mom. It's Emmeline and Nicholas. Congratulations on getting your diploma. You worked so hard and have taught us so much. We love you.
When they finished your high school for you and for them. Visit finish.org to find free supportive adult education centers near you. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
Oh, but $5. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
Put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Into the building for the first time after the shooting. It was crippling, and it had to be preserved.
In response to the Pulse nightclub shooting that affected the LGBTQ community, Barbara Pona, owner of Pulse, founded the One Pulse Foundation to honor Pulse victims and survivors.
If you're an ally of this community, speak out. There are more of us together. The power of love in its rawest form.
Join the fight for LGBTQ acceptance. Learn how at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels at the Ad Council.
A Shiro's work is never done. You care for the house and our future. We're so grateful for all you do. Now it's time to care for yourself and save a little more for retirement. A free 3-minute online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to boost your retirement savings now. Visit aceyourretirement.org/Shiro today.
A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Dance like a dad. It's a great way to make a moment with your kids. First, I hold my hands out like they're on a steering wheel. Then I look over my shoulder. Next, I put it in reverse. Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
People first is more than a nice sentiment. At American Senior Benefits, it's the mission. If you're ready for a career where you can truly put your customer needs ahead of everything else, this is for you. American Senior Benefits is one of the leading senior market insurance product distributors in the country, and they're looking for high energy applicants with strong communication skills. Enjoy on-the-job training, a fun work environment, and unlimited income potential. Visit ASBMidwest.com to learn more. American Senior Benefits.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. To by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
The Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see a chance of rain, snow, and freezing rain throughout the day. We'll see a high of around 35. Tonight, mostly cloudy and windy with the low of around 24. And tomorrow, mainly cloudy. It will still be freezing tomorrow, too. We'll see a high of around 30. Meteorologist Kyle Fletcher for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Box with our coach Rocky Russo and Lincoln Stars broadcaster Joe Norman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
And welcome back into Outside the Box, being brought to you by Raising Cane's here on 93.7 The Ticket. I'm Stars broadcaster Joel Norman, chatting with forwards Daniel Sambuco and Carson Bidens ahead of a big weekend series against the Fargo Force. The only team ahead of the Lincoln Stars in the Western Conference is Fargo, and they've got an 8-point edge. As well as the Stars have played, Fargo's just been a little bit better. And guys, it's got that playoff feel to it. Facing this team, you got 2 games in as many days, same venue. Last time these two teams played, it had a playoff feel to it. What has the coaching staff been talking to you guys about in practice this week about this matchup?
I mean, they have a lot of, great players. They have a lot of skill forwards, and, we're just really play a good, strong defensive game and play really physical and be good in our own end so that we can have the puck more on our sticks and, have strong breakouts and just play a really good defensive game and shut their top guys down.
Daniel, what are you guys taking from the last time you guys faced off, if anything, or maybe you're just looking ahead at what's happened more recently?
Yeah, I think, just looking back the last time we played them from that Friday night to the Saturday night, kind of as Cars mentioned, just more physical, better in the D zone, and we end up beating them 2-1, whereas the night before it was 4-1 loss. So I think, again, the big thing for us is just bearing down, being physical, and buying in the D zone. So I think that will go a long way for us.
It's a team who they played Des Moines last week, and they kind of had their way with them. And meanwhile, every game it feels like the Stars have had with Des Moines. They've been some great games. That's a solid team as well, but kind of just shows you where they're at right now. I asked Rocky this, and I was curious what you guys thought. Is it almost easier to, not be more motivated, but going into a series like this where you're facing a team who is going to be, they're above you in the standings. You see it in the standings every day in the locker room, but it's coming off a game where you want to turn the page. Does it help kind of amp you up a little bit more knowing who you're playing because of that situation?
I think coming off Saturday's loss and just the way it went, it's definitely, you kind of just want to get out there on Friday already and just play. I think knowing they're 8 points ahead of us, and these 4 points are really important for us. There's motivation in itself, but every team you play every weekend, there's got to be some level of motivation there to, go out and beat them, whether it's Omaha or Tri-City or Des Moines or whoever. But no, this is a very big weekend for us. And I know we're all very excited to go out there and compete against them.
Carson, how about you? Because like we said, it is a big matchup. This is a chance to really cut that deficit in half.
Yeah, no, it's definitely huge. And, I don't think our motivation will change too much. We're looking to go into every game and win, but facing Fargo, they are the top team in the West. And, we are 8 points behind, and, we're looking to make up some ground this weekend. And these are, really important games that we're going to have to, we're going to have to play well, and we're going to have to show up big time and buy into our systems. And, these games are important in the West. We're looking forward to it.
Have you guys been enjoying, and this is a little less serious question, you guys been enjoying the World Junior Championship at all? I imagine that's got to be fun for you guys. Do you know anyone maybe on these teams? I always wonder that with you guys because some people do, some don't. I'll start with you, Carson. You have any guys you know? I imagine you're unfortunately rooting for Canada.
Yeah, I'm definitely cheering for the Canadians. They had a crazy game yesterday against the Slovaks. I'd say I only know 2 guys on the Latvian team. My roommate Klaus Weinberg and one other guy. So, but that's it for the guys I know.
How pumped were you after that win last night? That was a heck of a hockey game.
Yeah, it was crazy. I can't believe they tied it up late in the third, the Slovaks, but going into OT, I don't know. I just had a feeling Bedard was going to score when he was shooting the puck, 15 times that game, and that last goal was pretty special.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie to you. I was cheering for Slovakia last night, but boy, that Bedard goal was something else. Daniel, how about you? Unfortunately, you're cheering for the Americans, like the majority of us listening here. But you have any guys you know on the team?
I do. Actually, one of my best friends, Sam Lipkin, is there.
Okay.
It was actually his birthday today, so I was texting
nice.
with him a little bit. But I got a handful of my buddies who are there, and just reach out to them every now and then throughout the course of the 2 weeks and wish them good luck. But yeah, I'm definitely rooting for them. So
I always wonder about that just because it's got to be so cool with you guys. You're at this age, you know everything these guys are thinking about right now, all that stuff. So it's been fun to watch a lot as well. Well, thank both of you guys for coming on here. It was a lot of fun here tonight, and let's go get 4 points this weekend.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us on.
That was Daniel Sambuco and Carson Bidens joining me. I'm Joel Norman, and it's been another edition of Outside the Box being brought to you by Raising Cane's. The Lincoln Stars host the Fargo Force this weekend at the Icebox. Hope to see you there Friday, 7:05, Saturday at 6:05. You get your tickets now at LincolnStars.com. We will talk to you next week on Outside the Box.